Before we dive in, some breaking news dropped late last night. In case you missed it, the Las Vegas Raiders hired quarterback coach Mike Sullivan. This is a brilliant move for the team and a huge win for Fernando Mendoza. Joe Flacco just landed with the Bengals. Zach Wilson is heading to the New Orleans Saints. So, what does this mean for the Raiders' plans to find a veteran quarterback? Coming up, more Raiders and NFL buzz. Raider Nation, this is the Raiders Report. On today's show, we have Raiders updates and draft rumors that every fan of the Silver and Black and the entire league will want to hear. I get it. The offseason has slowed down since free agency, but the NFL draft is only 30 days away. If you want Raiders news, rumors, or updates, big or small, you found your number one destination. If it's not discussed here, it's not important. If I am talking about it, you know it's vital for all Raider fans. So let's jump into the huge news that broke today. To be clear, I'm recording this live on Tuesday, March 24th. The Raiders had a top 30 visit, and out of every top 30 visit the Raiders have had, this is the one that gets me the most hyped. I'm a firm believer in winning in the trenches, and you can never have too much help on the line. So with the Raiders bringing Kaden McDonald in for a top 30 visit, I have to give John Spyatek and Clint Kubiak a massive round of applause, because Kaden McDonald is the top defensive tackle I want the Raiders to draft. My top guy used to be Caleb Banks, but he has foot issues, and with big men, that's a major red flag. Kaden McDonald, however, is an absolute dog. At 6'3", 326 pounds, he had a monster year for the Buckeyes. He is an elite, I mean truly elite, run stopper. He has that rare production for tackles for loss, the kind of disruption you see from Max Crosby, but from an interior lineman. 9 tackles for loss in 1 year is incredible. Sure, he's surrounded by talent on that Ohio State defense. You have Sonny Styles. That whole roster is stacked. Arvell Reese. Those two guys playing near Kaden McDonald certainly helps him, but he is thick, and I want a big, thick body on our interior. His lateral quickness is phenomenal, which allows him to shed blocks and just consume double teams. He makes players around him better. In a Raiders 3-4 front, you put Kaden McDonald at nose, but he's talented enough, in my view, to play at the 1 or 3 technique, depending on how you use him. But when you get a player like that, his entire job is to elevate everyone else around him. And Kaden McDonald would absolutely do that. So here are the current Raiders top 30 visits. If you wanted a Raiders top 30 visit tracker, this is the most current version I have, based entirely on confirmed reports. I'm not saying other players haven't had visits, and you're also going to see reports of combine visits. You will also see virtual meetings. But for these official top 30 visits, a team only gets 30 of them. These are the 5 players I can confirm have officially met with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now for some more news and rumors. A part of this show will be dedicated to news that is genuinely important to you as a fan. The other part involves me tackling the biggest trending topics around the Raiders and the National Football League. And if you haven't seen the garbage, and that's the kindest word for it, Dan Orlovsky is spewing about Fernando Mendoza, this demands a discussion. On Monday, Orlovsky said, "I think Ty Simpson is the best quarterback in this class." So I had to ask myself, why would he think that? There must be a reason for that take. Because to me, that's like saying the earth is flat. You're allowed to have an opinion, but it's a bad one, and it's factually wrong. So I listened to why Dan Orlovsky thinks Ty Simpson is this year's top quarterback. Here's what my homework uncovered. Orlovsky and Ty Simpson share the same agency. They're both represented by Creative Artists Agency, CAA, and I am certain ESPN is pushing hosts to create controversy during this quiet period before the owners' meetings and the draft. But I saw Dan Orlovsky today, and I have to give a shout out to Pat McAfee for putting Dan in his place. Because, Dan, I have no issue with you thinking Ty Simpson is a better QB. You can have that opinion, but give me reasons. Give me facts. Why? Because today, when Pat McAfee pressed you, you claimed Fernando Mendoza has never played in any big games. Quote, "He's not played in any big games." How can you, as a host at ESPN, even say that? What happened to the ESPN I grew up watching and loving? It's just a cesspool of people throwing junk on screen for clicks and to make viral content. I mean, congratulations, you went viral. But how can you possibly say Fernando Mendoza hasn't been in any big games? Are you seriously going to argue that Ty Simpson in SEC football is a bigger stage than a Big Ten title game? Then Dan says, well, Fernando Mendoza was losing going into the 4th quarter against Ohio State. I don't care if you're losing. Did he win? Yes. Head to head, he completely dismantled Alabama. From any logical standpoint, I just don't get it. I am completely flabbergasted. I'm irritated. I even have to talk about this. I know why ESPN is doing it. I know why Dan Orlovsky is doing it. Dan himself admitted his name isn't big enough for a payday, but it seems he's cashing checks from an agency to promote Ty Simpson, the same agent you have, by claiming he's a superior QB to Fernando Mendoza. Does that line your wallet, Dan? Probably not. But does it help the agency repping Ty? You bet it does. So either Dan is on the payroll for his take, because when you challenge him directly on it, he offers zero defense, just repeating that Ty Simpson is better than Mendoza. Where's your proof? What's the reasoning? I watched today, and if you missed it, props to Pat McAfee for completely exposing Dan Orlovsky. And if you think Dan's opinion is garbage, let him have it. It's the kind of awful take that would earn a volley of tomatoes. So light up the comments, because I'm just speechless. I'm at a complete loss here. It's rare on this show that I find myself completely stunned into silence, but debating this feels pointless, like arguing with a toddler when I have to say, because I said so. And the response is just, why? Seriously, Dan, why is Ty Simpson better? You have no answer. Nobody does. And if the excuse is his lack of big game experience, it proves you're selling a story that you, Dan, don't even actually buy yourself. Let's move on to more of these absurd takes from ESPN, because this reveals their entire playbook. Look, don't misunderstand me. I get how the content creation game is played, but let me be perfectly clear. I refuse to do clickbait. I don't have to chase views. The audience always shows up. I'm confident because true Raider fans know our analysis is genuine, but I will always call out nonsense when I see it. Which brings me to Chris Canty suggesting the Raiders should consider trading their #1 pick. Why, in the dead of the NFL offseason, is Dan Orlovsky, and now other ESPN voices, pushing the idea that the Raiders should trade the pick. You want the real reason? They have nothing else to discuss. This is what Chris Canty said. Your opinion on whether Ty Simpson or Mendoza is the top QB prospect is a matter of personal taste, but Dan Orlovsky's point reveals there isn't a single can't-miss quarterback in this entire draft. And if that's true, the Raiders must put that #1 overall selection up for auction. I've never, in all my years covering this league, witnessed so much criticism aimed at a player who is an undefeated Heisman winner, a national champion, and has Mendoza's incredible backstory. Sure, maybe he's not the athletic prototype like a Caleb Williams, but what about a 6'5", 225-pound QB, one with elite accuracy and proven leadership? To me, that's the definition of a franchise quarterback. That's Fernando Mendoza. You also have to consider his fit with Tom Brady's influence and Clint Kubiak's offense. That context is crucial, because people will argue, hey, we could get a haul of first-rounders. Canty even suggests targeting teams that are holding 2 first-round picks this year. But what about a team like the Jets, Chris? They have 5 first-round selections over the next 2 years, and they still might not land their guy. A stockpile of picks is no guarantee you'll secure a franchise quarterback. The Raiders desperately need a franchise player. If you trade away the pick, who starts for Las Vegas? I mean, I like Aiden O'Connell, but we likely don't have the cap space to sign someone like Kirk Cousins. So you'd be starting Joe Flacco all season? That inspires absolutely zero confidence. This organization has been on a carousel with Carr, Garoppolo, Minshew, and Geno Smith. I'm sick of it. I'm over it. And the entire fan base is over it too. You have the top pick in the draft gift wrapped for you, and I believe he's the ideal choice for the Raiders. So hearing Orlovsky, then Canty, echo these points makes me wonder what happened to the ESPN I used to watch. It's disheartening and maddening, but this is the reality of ESPN and First Take today. Up next, we'll break down a recent NFL signing and discuss whether it could affect the Las Vegas Raiders. Plus, we'll dive into some hot free agency rumors you've been asking about, right here on the Raiders Report. Have you seen what Panda Sups just did? They released a new, limited-time flavor, horchata fuel. I'm not sure how long it'll last. I've tried every kind of Panda Sups protein. I recently picked up s'mores, brownie, and that caramel ice cream with Biscoff cookies. But whenever they release a new protein, I have to grab it. Now, I often mention their BCAAs and other products, but today is all about the protein. You're getting 30 grams of protein in every single scoop. For any athlete out there, 30 grams of protein per scoop is absolutely premium fuel, and you're looking at 140 to 160 calories. The taste is phenomenal. And then you have the multi-phase protein. Now, after years of training, I know there's whey and then there is casein protein. Casein protein is a slow burn, ideal for meal replacement, keeping you satisfied for 3 to 4 hours. Whey is for instant muscle recovery after training. But for me, I've trusted Panda Sups for 5 or 6 years now. I love a good time, but I also have a sweet tooth and want to look my best. As summer gets closer, you need to try Panda Supps Protein. Use code MAX, M-A-X, to get 25% off. You can find that link in the description of today's episode. All right, next topic. If you missed the news, Brian Robinson has officially signed with the Atlanta Falcons. And here is why that matters. Clint Kubiak and the Raiders desperately need a running back too. They're hunting for a partner for Genty. Brian Robinson Jr. was actually my #1 free agent target for the Silver and Black. Now he's gone, heading to Atlanta to back up the other Robinson, Bijan. Atlanta has B-Rob squared now. It's the double B-Rob show over there. But this leaves the Raiders' running back situation completely unchanged so far this offseason. We are still searching for that second running back. Robinson had history with Kubiak through their Shanahan connection. It made me wonder if that was the move the Raiders were secretly planning all along. So when I saw B-Rob was Atlanta bound, I immediately wondered who was left on the board for the Raiders. Should they sign a free agent or just draft someone? Here are my top 5 guys for Clint Kubiak. Nick Chubb, Najee Harris, who by the way, just posted a video looking incredible after his Achilles injury. In free agency, you also have Raheem Mostert, Amir Abdullah, and Antonio Gibson. That's my top 5. As I said in my video yesterday, the Raiders have roughly $10.75 million left to spend. They have $23 million now, but rookie deals will eat that up, leaving around $10.75. Here's my take. With all due respect to Chubb, Raheem, Amir, Gibson, and the other available free agents out there, at this stage, I fully expect the Raiders to find Genty's partner in the 2026 NFL Draft. And frankly, if I were running the team, considering our other needs, that's the move I would make. You analyze this year's draft class. Could I land an Emmett Johnson? Could I grab a Roman Hemby or a Kalen Black later on day 3? We have plenty of picks to work with. So when Brian Robinson signed with the Falcons, it became clear to me. The Raiders are drafting that back. Let's move to our final story, which revolves around Odell Beckham Jr. I can't believe I'm saying this, but there are 2 reasons why. 1, fans have been hitting me up on social media. You can find me at Mitchell Renz 365. And 2, Jordan Schultz dropped some news just moments before I went live. According to Schultz, free agent Odell Beckham Jr. is getting fresh looks after his performance in Tom Brady's flag football game. So, with the Raiders needing a receiver, the question is pouring in. Could they be interested in OBJ? I'll make this simple. I have 0 interest in OBJ. He made a spectacular catch, yes, in a flag football game. Unless the NFL is switching to flag football in 2026, I don't see the appeal. He didn't even play last season. He wasn't effective in 2024. I feel for him, because he was incredible in 2021 down the stretch. You all remember his time with the Rams. He helped get them to a Super Bowl, then tore his ACL in that game and missed all of 2022. He's just had too many knee injuries. He is not the same Odell Beckham Jr. anymore. He isn't the player I remember watching with the Giants. He will always have that star power swag. I get it. The name value is always there. But this renewed buzz is just because of a tweet linking him to Tom Brady. I understand the Raiders need a receiver. But do you all remember how you felt last year when the team signed Amari Cooper? Amari was a big name signing, and some people were excited. I was the one saying, listen, Amari is past his prime. I'm not sure he even makes this roster. I argued with a few people over it. Getting OBJ would be an even bigger risk than that. If the Raiders signed him, I'd say it's a great headline. It makes for a fantastic story, but I don't believe he's good enough for this team. Put the name aside for a second. Think about the actual player. The OBJ of 2026 is not good enough for the Raiders of 2026. Just a heads up for everyone, this video is being recorded on Tuesday, March 24th, so you might catch it then. You'll be watching this on Wednesday morning, but major respect to all of you who consistently join the conversation on all things Raiders. I felt compelled to make this because Kaden McDonald's top 30 visits are critically important. I also needed to drop my take on the heated debate involving Dan Orlovsky, Chris Canty, Fernando Mendoza, and Ty Simpson. When news breaks, I'm on it. When topics trend, I dissect them. For your daily Raiders intel, the Raiders Report is your source.